Here comes the Reaper. And as I was saying before, Reaper Cliff already is walled off. So we're gonna see what Byun is able to scout off. The classic retreating with his probe. Byun actually trying to check for some hidden stuff. Probe was eating in the scouting timing at a little bit of a later stage. So Byun might be scared about some proxies out of Classic. We know that the delay in the timing was because Classic was indeed looking itself for some proxies. So, to no avail, Byun will keep his Reaper back home, just for safety. Over here, Stargate incoming for Classic. Similarly to how he played in the first set of these best of 3. Not the first set, sorry, the first instance of this best of 3. Since it was the first series of today. He's going to start it off with a Stargate and try to get some Oracle scouting ongoing. Or even Phoenixes, if it comes to that. It's going to be an Oracle first. Over here, this one single Adept will be able to get a snipe on top of that alien and shade backwards into safety. It's one Paladin going over here, no shield battery yet. These two Reapers are going to be a little bit obnoxious, but two Adepts are going to be much more than enough to deal with the Reapers. Actually, trading one Reaper for one Adept is a very good trade, as well as killing a probe. Reaper going into the main, getting a full scout, going to see the Oracle pop out of that one Stargate and forcing the Pulsar Beam activation as well. And a Hero Reaper over there. Pala cancel double gateways incoming, one single Oracle is whatever Classic is going to have out of the Stargate, and instead is going to have a Phoenix out with this drop incoming. Of course, the Widowmine drop, the good old, is going to be still very complicated to deal with for Classic. Byun playing super aggressive in this game, not batting an eye. And here comes the Widowmines. Throwing down. Oh my god, that could be a big shot. 8 probes falling down. Oh no. Oh. Lifting up in the sky is the Phoenix, and it will tank a shot. No, it won't. The Widowmine waiting for the right moment to strike. He will not find any moment to strike. Will be killed by the Adept after killing just the one probe. But this other little guy over here has 8 kills. Phoenixes are going to chase this one Medivac around. Gonna be lifting this Widowmine. And the other Phoenix is sleeping on the job though. Oh no, Pulsar Beam needs to be activated to kill this Widowmine. Better safe than sorry. Charges incoming, no blink actually being made by Classic. A little bit of a off way to play this matchup. I'm super surprised. But with the Phoenixes, he's able to be in the face of Byun most of the times. Of course, there's so many Marines over here for defense that these Phoenixes are just never going to get much done. It's a little bit of a scouting. They get backwards. They see the Raven, which is already pretty good. And while the Forge has been dropped down by Classic, who's taking the third base, playing much heavily much heavier than usual on gateway style. You can see 5 more gateways being added into the mix. With Charge, of course, being the upgrade, is almost certain we're going to see a Robo being added soon. Since these Zealots are mostly used to just bulk up the army for the other key units to do the rest of the job, unless you want to go purely into Zealots, which is still a thing. But Glittering Ashes is one of those large maps with tons of choke points. No, you don't want to have just Zealots. More Phoenixes are being added to the mix, by the way, by Classic. He's still being as proactive as possible with just this small platoon of air units. Medivacs being chased around by Phoenixes, forced to boost away into safety. The Oracles not getting much done. Getting a couple SCVs killed, but right now Byun is able to move out. Where's the Phoenixes? One here? Oh, the other two are retreating back home, of course, with the army of Byun moving out. Is there enough for defense for Classic? So I really think there isn't. Yes, there's a lot of zealots. Yes, they have charge. Yes, there's sentries. To drop down the force fields, yeah, probably there is enough. Especially with the Phoenixes able to snipe down these medivacs. There should be enough. Widowmine shots need to be perfect, and it's really complicated against charge lots. Ground armor is completed as well as infantry weapons. Ground weapons is incoming instead for Classic. He's trying to maneuver around with his Phoenixes, trying to look for something. He's gonna lose one of his Phoenixes to a steam forward. The Zealots are ready to charge into the choke point. Force fields are perfect. So is the anti-armor missile. Byun will need to wait Classic will need to wait a little bit of time before engaging. But with the force fields, he's able to buy himself enough time for another round of warpings to join his army. Phoenixes to fly into position, and actually a probe to sneak out and drop down a 4th base. If he wants to go heavily into gateway style, he definitely has the economy to do it. RoboBay is incoming, indeed, to ensure some key units to be defended by those zealots, but there's so many zealots out there. 38. Zealots are a good unit, but you need those +1 ground weapons. Because they get 2 attacks, and getting 2 attacks reduced by armor, it's never a good thing. There's no armor yet, though, for Byun. Infantry armor is halfway through, so actually it's gonna be basically true damage. Talking about true damage, Widowmine shots are ready to try and intercept as many zealots as possible. More and more Widowmines being added into mix. The zealots are going to be super aware about those, since the choke points are being held very properly by Byun, moving his army just where he needs it. But a platoon of zealots ready to strike when Byun is not paying attention. There's just a single Widowmine over here, it's never going to be enough. Yeah, that is more likely. Sending Widowmines on the right to stop any potential run-by from being too obnoxious. Byun trying to take position over here on the right side, maybe trying to take a 4th base. Here comes the Widowmine, here comes the shot, and all these zealots are in a very bad health situation. With 0 energy whatsoever. Not energy, sorry, shields. They're gonna be easily cleared by the rightmost army of Byun. Classic moving his zealots on the right side. Smelling something in the air, smelling blood. Over here, these 3 maniacs with marauders and marines are ready to strike at the natural of Classic. She's defended by a single photon cannon. Of course, recall is available, so I'm not super scared for Classic, but he's now engaging over here in the middle. Purification Nova will not eat anything. Anti-armor missile will hit the most of the army of Classic. Both players are very close to being maxed out. Byun is a +2/+2 incoming, +2/+2 is a little bit further off for Classic. Meanwhile, the run-by zealots will eat indeed. Over here, the 3rd base of Byun killing 5 SCVs. Not much, but enough to force a little bit of attention off for the Terran player. Right now, Classic trying to walk in the middle of a choke point. Purification Nova will hit something actually. Second one will be completely, but Byun is still looking for a way to strike in over here. Shockwave upgrade for the EMP is completed. 2 targets and a fleet beacon incoming for Classic, ready to get the transition going on. Some zealots trying to trade their best, but it's the disruptors being the real deal over here. 2 Colossi just popping out. Recall again is available. Meanwhile, steaming forward on top of these army, of these economy is Byun. But the rest of the army of Classic will catch up. Lots and lots of workers holding down though. Classic will find himself 15 workers short and losing his run by killing only 2 SCVs. Clean play by Byun. The same cannot be said for Classic, who's now taking a 5th base, yes, against only the 4th one being taken now by Byun. But Fusion Core is incoming against the Fleet Beacon tech with carriers incoming from Classic. Classic was able to trade some of his own supply. He's not replacing the lost prods, by the way. He's just been making those carriers, which is a risky play, but one that can really pay off. Especially if he's able to trade more supply efficiently. 4 probes are incoming right now, so that is not entirely true. Purification Nova will kill one of the Widow Mines. These disruptors are not adding up that much value overall, but Byun needs to be extra careful with his army movements. Both players looking forward to trade some supply somewhat. Looks like Byun wants to trade his supply with a drop on the right side. Classic is instead looking for some run-bys with Zealots and the likes of it. You can see the Phoenix is diving on top of the Medivacs. Medivacs are very bruised. By the way, Purification Nova will not hit anything. The Shockwave EMP hits the most of the army of Classic. Byun will intercept the Zealot run-by. And it looks like both players are just, again, posturing. Liberators upon Liberators being added into mix, but there's so many carriers out there right now which are going to be seen by Byun, by the way. 4 more command centers. The drop down scans. Whenever Byun wants, the Warp Prism will be sniped before doing anything. And again, no run by for Classic. Byun able to catch every single time Classic wants to move out. Same can be said for himself though, with Classic catching him out yet again. So many disruptors. Disruptors and carriers complement each other so well with the carriers, creating the spacing that disruptors need to drop down those Purification Novas. Not allowing anything to get too close to the carriers themselves. Byun desperately needs those Liberators with range to start shooing away disruptors before they can zone out the whole of his bio army. Over here, one single Liberator will stop this whole base from mining whatsoever. And Byun is still moving over here on the right side, still looking for an opportunity to strike. But he will be one to be caught. The army of Classic moving in that exact location. So just blinking forward to try and get on top of these Medivacs. Here comes the Purification Nova hitting the most of the bio army of the carriers to deal shock work of the Medivacs and the last few remaining units. Of course, Classic able to replace his army a little bit quicker with warpings, warping in tons of Stalkers over here to deal with the one Liberator that was stopping him from mining in that base. Classic moving forward, he has lots and lots of carriers. The forest of missile turrets is not out there yet, and the Colossi can easily deal with these missile turrets anyway. The sensor tower is now under assault. The Liberators are gonna siege up into position. The Purification Novas are going to be the real deal. Over here on the right side, will Classic decide to get into that location? Shield body overcharge is definitely not going to help you against this one Liberator. 17 probes and counting falling down. But the same can be said for a lot of SCVs being sniped over here on the right side alongside the Planetary Fortress. Liberator will fly back into safety after seeing some Stalkers warp in. But both players losing so much of their economy. Classic losing a little bit more, but keeping his base alive. Still a little posturing around. Vikings being added into the mix. Massively trying to stop these carriers. Another missile turret will be killed before dropping a single shot. But over here there's no way to fly up on this ramp. On the right side, Classic looking to snipe yet another base. Byun is moving in position. Purification Novas will hit the missile turrets. This one will most likely burn down. Yes, it will. Over here on the right side, Byun adding up more and more missile turrets. Again, 2 players maxed out, plus 2 ground weapons and plus 2 ground armor incoming for Classic. While Byun is just trying to maneuver properly around. Maybe looking to drop down a couple key EMPs on top of the army of his opponent. Here comes the Purification Novas, almost hitting the jackpot, but failing to do so by mere inches. The Liberators keeping Classic out of this ramp. Over here on the left side, Byun dropping down an EMP, dropping down another EMP. The second one misses, but these two more are going to hit the jackpot. All of the Stalkers hit at once, but it looks like Classic is easily walking on top of that ramp. Purification Nova will not hit on top of the army of Byun, and now Classic is on top of the rally point of the Terran player, looking to strike on the right side. There's so many missile turrets, doesn't need to strike there though. The carriers are getting into position over here in the natural, and the production might be the next target of the Protoss player, while Byun decides just to go hell out. Oh, here on Glittering Ashes, no prisoners, both players full all in. With this a little bit of a base trade, and it always comes down to this for some reason. It always comes down to the base trade. Classic has the stronger army, but these Raptors have a long cooldown before they can drop down those Novas. Over here, this one single Liberator proving to be quite obnoxious, but in the end, the carriers and the Stalkers are making short work of the production of the Terran player. Classic is supply blocked, so they cannot really get the warpings he wants. But in the end, he doesn't really have a way to defend his bases without recall. He wants to kill the whole production before recalling back home into safety. The carriers are chasing stuff around. Meanwhile, these Raptors and Stalkers are moving around here on the left side. Probes and Stalkers alike are moving to position to try and deal with some of these orbital commands. Over here, it looks like more and more wrecks have been made by Byun, but these Stalkers from Classic managed to intercept Byun trying to replace his lost production. And I think there's absolutely zero production on the field right now. There's 3 racks over here still alive, one of them burning down and one in factory being produced by Byun. The Classic having a fleet beacon and 3 Stargates still alive, by the way. They still supply blocked very heavily. Here goes the Planetary Fortress alongside so many workers. Classic has 14 workers against the 4 of Byun. Byun steaming forward on top of the high ground. The last few bastion of Classic is about to go down. With these last Stargates holding down, there's not gonna be any more army for Classic whatsoever. Making a nexus over here in the top right. Still having 13 probes alive, trying to move around, place more and more nexi around to stop Byun from just ending the game. And that's gonna be complicated. Well, there's no more main for Classic. He has 1 nexus going on over here and 1 over here. Recall is available on both those nexi once they are completed. The Classic completely blocked from doing anything, and he's not moving his army around. Looking for something to strike on. This location over here for Byun is the last bastion for the Terran player. He cannot recall his army, and this is not a strong army overall whatsoever. Classic moving right, but it is a small platoon of army of Byun is looking to strike on top of these nexus. This is the last structure, or is it? What is the last structure? There's 1 pylon in the making somewhere. There's 1 pylon over here. The whole army of Classic over here to defend this 1 last remaining pylon. There's still lots of structures out there for Byun. Classic is making yet another nexus over here, and I think he wants to hold close to this 1 structure. I do feel like Classic is going to be the one who's going to win this game, just because he's able to remake stuff. Is there a single orbital command alive? No, there is. Oh yeah, there are actually 2 orbital commands. Byun might actually be able to remake his army. Oh, Purification Novas hitting the jackpot or not. Very close. The ghosts are falling down. The carriers are fighting against the ghosts. Over here, it looks like whatever is left from... Oh my god. Where's the last pylon? It's over here. Oh my goodness. All the army of Byun has gone down. Classic wins the game. This is such a mess. Of course, we're all waiting for the first tech structure out of Classic. It's not the immediate warp gate attack. Well, yeah. It did start it, so I'm expecting a Twilight Council, not a Stargate. But he didn't start it immediately. And there's no pylon over here. There's pylon in natural. No third pylon. Gonna be having a Twilight Council over here, most likely. I think it's a little bit late for a Twilight Council. And he could be waiting for resources to drop down a Stargate, actually. Oh, it's going to be a Twilight Council. It's just a late one, but it's just a Twilight Council. Here it comes. I'm going to Blink Tech. Getting back into standard. So that's chasing the Reaper around. And I do feel like they will finally manage to get a heal. Yes, they will. Reaper Cliff was indeed locked. On the other side, waiting for the Widowmine drop incoming from Byun. Here we also have a Stargate. Oh, wait a second. The Twilight Council was cancelled? Classic, kind of messing it up. This is something that Byun is definitely not expecting. This Stargate will be completely unscouted. It's not like PvT is one of those matchups in which you don't see the Stargate and you immediately die to it. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how Byun decides to react to this. Even because, like, where is this Medivac going to fly? Yeah, it's going to see the Stargate. It's going to see the cancel. And this Phoenix is definitely not an hallucination. First Widowmine is going to be lifted. The second one is going to be recollected by the Medivac, flying into the main to reposition it. There's another one. Phoenix lifting at a very weird angle, but lifting nonetheless. While the Phoenix is trying to chase around the Medivac, will find it. And this will indeed be a dead Medivac. One more Phoenix to come. Twilight Council being added into mix right about now to add Blink. And classic blindsided Byun, losing nothing to the Widowmine drop, and actually sniping both the Widowmines and the Medivac. With a little bit of a lag spike, and I was about to pass out again, fearing another crash, but it's not going to happen. Over here, the Cyclone will get a lock on top of one of the Phoenixes, which will fly back into safety. Over here, the Twilight Council is about to be finished. Ground armor being started as well as charge instead of Blink, as I was suspecting. Classic proving me wrong twice in a row by cancelling the Twilight Council, starting a Stargate, doing a marvelous play with his Phoenixes, and then starting charge immediately after, going for charge lots, Phoenixes, yet again, for the second game in a row. Now ready to lift some Cyclones maybe, which will get a lock on two different Phoenixes and almost get 2 kills. But not going to happen. There's not much in the way of arming on the side of Byun. But Classic is mostly working with a couple Stalkers and just the Phoenixes. Without charge being finished, it's going to be complicated for him to deal with any aggressive approach out of Byun. Byun doesn't have much himself, but he's still going to have a slightly stronger army. 6 more gateways being added into the mix though. And yeah, that might have been some trouble for Byun if he decided to commit into anything. The 6 gateways incoming, and charge almost completed. Classic can definitely start to add up some serious business to his army. This Raven caught a little bit in the middle of nowhere will be sniped without any reprisal whatsoever. The Phoenix will stay alive. Lock-on will not be kept long enough for any of those Phoenixes to die. Another lock-on gets cancelled by the side blockers over here. And Byun is not able to strike back whatsoever, not taking a third base, not really attacking to any significant way. He has a strong army, but there's still lots and lots of zealots out there for Classic, with these Medivacs being under serious threat once they get close enough to these Phoenixes. There's no way to get a drop on going as well for Byun, way too scared about his Phoenixes. Right now this is not a good location to fight in though. Lock-ons will not get a kill, but it was very close, killing at least 2 Phoenixes. Byun marching in the middle, but so is Classic, sending his full might, Sentries and Zealots alike. Ground Armor 2 is in the making, 1 is already finished. Over here, 1 Cyclone immediately killed. I don't know how. Maybe Byun started step in a little bit of an awkward way and killed the Cyclone with his own army. I think that's what happened. Classic has tons of Zealots. Again, Hardwire has kind of a lot of choke points with high ground and low ground that can work in favor of Byun. More they can work in favor of Classic. As you can see, these Marines retreating into the choke point. Over here, the Widowmine's not doing enough. And in the end, these Phoenixes are all the Classic needs, chasing down the Medivacs. Only 1 Medivac left standing, and he will indeed go down with the Zealots still chasing forward. Ready to charge again. Can they charge on top of this Orbital Command? Yes, they will. The Orbital Command is lifting up in the sky, where only the Phoenixes and the Stalkers can hit. The Sentries are blocking most of the army of Byun out of this fight. 6 workers are gonna fall down, and Classic is gonna heavily win this battle by resetting so much of the key units count of Byun right now without a single Medivac up in the skies. 2 just now being produced. And without a third base to mine from, Byun trying to reposition over here on the right side of the Ghost Academy incoming. A Classic is breaking down the rocks. He's ensuring he has a faster way to put his reinforcements through the middle and strike where it hurts the most. Widowmines being spread around to stop Zealots from getting too many good engagements. Oh, but there's an observer with this. And the Widowmines will be lifted up in the skies very easily. The Guardian Shield is not doing a marvelous job, but look at this Phoenix go. They don't even care about the Medivacs anymore. Zealots chasing down in the choke point, fighting against SCVs, and now fighting against the Bio. 20 SCVs falling down. The army of Classic is still ongoing. They will retreat for the time being, but Byun has no further to mine from, and Classic will advance to the next stage of the tournament.